How's that better? Can you actually hear me now? Can anyone hear me now? I'll give a boom command for everything. Is that better? Is it working or not, JT? All right. I just got done with the best thing I've ever said too. It's so disappointing. That was the best thing I ever said. But I was trying out a new microphone I got the other day. I didn't change it back. So yeah. Well, such is life, right? We have mistakes that we have in life. I was basically just saying that as human beings, we want to live life and give others as much love and compassion as possible. And that, while we're here within this dualistic framework, things are going to be really, complicated and ugly at times. Hey, Grace Yoga, thank you so much for the subscription. Much appreciated. Yeah, I was talking the first part of the stream without sound coming through because I had the wrong microphone hooked up. But I'm super psyched that you're here. It's good to see you, Grace. How's your day? I didn't get to check out your stream on Inside Timer today, but I'll definitely check that out if I get a chance. Grace Yoga is a premier streamer here in the fitness and health community on Twitch, and she's also on Insight Timer. I definitely recommend you check her out and give her a follow. I was in her yoga and meditation stuff this last Saturday, and it was awesome. I got a lot of peace out of it. I also had a very good yoga practice, so definitely check her out. I'm always there whenever I can, and it's just a really nice, good environment. And thank you so much for the subscription, much appreciated. But yeah, so now that people can actually hear me, so what's going on? How is everyone doing today? It was weird, Grace. I just got done with like some of the best shit I've ever talked about in my life, and like it was just falling on deaf ears because I had the wrong microphone hooked up. What's going on with me? Well, let's see. I mean, I had that. That was kind of interesting, right? To sit there and talk for like a few minutes and like not have anyone be able to hear you. That's kind of neat. Oh, you've done that before? Yeah, it's weird, right? It's weird. You have to like have someone in chat be like, "Hey, I can't hear you. Your microphone's not on, right?" And then you're like, "Oh shit!" And you kind of gotta rush to get things in order. It was so weird too because I was being so eloquent and I was just talking with I was making such good points, but I guess the universe didn't want that message to get out of the bottle yet. So we'll have to bring that back some other time. Today, I can tell you a little bit about my day today. I started out with morning yoga workout. It's like what I do every day. And then I went over to my parents' house because my parents were having some technical issues. My parents are old and they have technical issues, and so the younger generation has to go there and like help them out, right? It's just kind of part of life, right? Old people aren't great with technology, so you teach them and you do what you can for them and you help them out, so everyone help out your parents, help out your grandparents with technology. If whenever you have the opportunity, they really will appreciate it, I guarantee. And that stuff doesn't come intuitive to them. They weren't raised with computers, and so their minds do not evolve in that computer mindset, so they need help. What's intuitive to you is not intuitive to them. But then again, some of the stuff that's intuitive to them is not intuitive to you, right? Like, can you just, if you're out in the wilderness, do you always know like what direction you're heading? If someone spins you around, in the middle of the forest, are you going to be able to know exactly which way to go? They have that. They have that knowledge. They have that insight. And we might not have that insight. We can look at like moss growing on a tree and try to figure out like where the fuck we're at. But I don't even know how helpful that is. Send me out in the forest. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I'm trying to just, like find a road or something. Hey, Roko Hemda's here. How's it going, brother? I hope you're doing well today. I hope all is well with you. Roko Hemda is my brother since from another mother. I've known him since I was 5 years old. Really good friend. I love that guy, man. JT Farms, you say, how is the new mic? Did I not like it? Well, it's I'm gonna be bringing it in eventually, but right now I'm kind of waiting. I'm holding off a little bit because I want to like fine tune exactly the volume, and I gotta figure out which headphones I'm gonna wear. And it's like this weird, another weird thing. And I also kind of don't know if I want to be wearing headphones and fucking around with the mic and doing all that shit. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Right now it's in the experimental phases. I finally got it working, which is good, but I'm not 100% satisfied with the setup yet. Imbalanced. What is up? What is up, brother? It's good to see you. Big shout out to Imbalanced Physique. He is a streamer here in the fitness and health community on Twitch. An awesome, genuine guy. He also does tarot in addition to workout streams, and a lot of people have been getting a tremendous amount of benefit from his streams lately. And so I would recommend that you drop by, check him out, and give him a follow. And you won't be disappointed. Anyone who comes across as a real human being, as opposed to just someone who's acting as if acting in a manner that they believe society, wants them to act, is going to be a good person in my book. He's just a real life, authentic dude. So check him out. Let's see, where are we at here? JT, you say, I always like that shirt when I wear it. Yeah, it's like one of my only shirts that's not black, right? All my other shirts are like black. I don't know why. I got like obsessed with wearing like black shirts somewhere along the line, like monochrome. I have like black and white shirts. I'm very into the monochrome thing, Every once in a while I will wear color, and it kind of throws everyone off. Everyone's like, what the fuck's going on with Agni? Why is he wearing color today? And it kind of throws me off too. And then when I do artwork, I'm always doing black and white art. I refuse to do any color. And I have a weird thing, a weird rationale behind it. I feel like there are so many possibilities of what you can do with just black and white, and that I've exhausted such a few minute amount of those possibilities that I'm not ready to venture into color yet. I want to exhaust every single possibility of what I can do with just the most simple black pen on white paper before I move on to something else. And now, sure, is that going to be obtainable? Hell no, right? Not within a lifetime. There's no way. Not within infinite lifetimes, right? Because it's just there's an infinite amount of shapes and patterns you can make. But I still strive for that for some reason. I feel like obligated to stick with the black and white until I feel that I've exhausted the possibility of what I can do with black and white. So maybe the way I dress is a representation of my artwork. Maybe that's it. Or maybe that's just a weird rationale, a weird justification that we give, right? It's always interesting. Whenever we have a given phenomenon that occurs in the world, we always have so many different plausible explanations of why that phenomenon occurred. And we never really know the real reason why something occurred. Causation, the whole concept of causation, how X causes Y, right? How it is that Y came to being is always a major issue in Western philosophy. And causation's been in a huge mess ever since David Hume started talking about it and posed all these issues for the whole concept of causation. Everyone thought they knew what it meant for one thing to cause another. And then David Hume came along in the 1800s and was like, oh, you guys are all fucking wrong. None of you know shit. Turns out that we don't know anything about causation. We don't know what it means for one thing to cause another, right? Let me give you an example. About that, right? So let's say you have someone walks into gets to work in the morning. They walk in the door of their office building, and they trip over the rug and fall on the floor and break their ankle, right? Okay, so you want to say, well, what caused them to break their ankle? And then you could, initially, prima facie, you could say, oh, well, the fact that the rug was bunched up was what caused them to break their ankle, right? And that's one totally plausible explanation. You could say, yeah, the bunched up rug caused them to break their ankle, right? And it's right off the bat, it seems like that's a perfectly legit explanation, and that's it. End of story, right? But then someone else could say, no, that's not the reason you broke your ankle. The reason you broke your ankle is because the custodian was in your office earlier that day, and when he pushed the vacuum, it bunched up the rug that was right in front of the door. And then when you walked in, because the rug was bunched up because of the custodian, that's why you broke the ankle. So then you could say, okay, the custodian, is the reason why you broke your ankle, And then someone could say, no, that's not the case. That's not the reason why you broke your ankle. The reason you broke your ankle was because you filled up your car with gas yesterday. And because you filled up your car with gas yesterday, you were able to make it to work, and because you got to work, you were able to you walked in the room and then tripped on the rug and broke your ankle. So the cause of you breaking your ankle is the fact that you put gas in your car. And someone else could say, no, the cause of your, you get the idea, right? It leads to an infinite regress. The cause of you breaking your ankle is the fact that you were born. The cause of you breaking your ankle is the fact that the Big Bang occurred, right? And then we had all sorts of shit happen, right? So we don't know what the fuck it means for one thing to cause another. Causation is in a state of complete disarray. Philosophers have been working on it, for thousands of years, and we don't understand what the fuck it means for one thing to cause another. It's pretty amazing, right? If you think about it. But that's so. Anyways, that's my rant on causation for now. Let's see. JT, you say, how was my hippie fest? Ooh, all right. You bring up something cool. So I show up to this hippie fest, and by the way, this was really neat. The hippie fest was put on by a genuine clown. And I'm not talking about like, he's just like a funny guy or whatever. He literally, he has a bachelor's degree. He went to college, got his bachelor's degree, and then decided to go off to clown school. And he went to clown school and he's an official clown. And he's like, like a 25-year-old dude. It's like, I don't know many young clowns. I don't know many people who are like 25 that like their dream is to go to clown school, right? But he went to clown school, became a professional clown, does like kids' birthday parties, does all sorts of clown events. I don't know what the fuck clowns do, but yeah, he put on this event, and it was such an interesting group of people that were there. I mean, we had this one attorney that showed up, and this is like a clown hippie fest, and this like attorney shows up, and she's like super rich, probably worth like $20 million, for $30 million, and she puts on these real lavish exhibits in her house. She has original artwork from like all throughout her entire fucking home. She had this event where she hired 10 artists to come in and paint murals in her house through the course of the day, and all the guests would walk around and look at the different murals that these artists were painting, and then then at the end of the night, all the guests voted on whoever did the best mural, and like the winner got like $1,000 and shit, like the winner artist. And and then they were eating all these like fancy hors d'oeuvres all night, and there were musicians and all sorts of shit performing at her house. I mean, like, who puts on events like this? It was like something out of a movie, right? So she was at this hippie fest put on by a clown, and then there was this dude that like does like qigong, like kind of like Kitten's Kung Fu. Those of you who've seen his streams, and he gave a qigong demonstration, and then you had this old hippie who like spent a lot of time in Europe and India and Afghanistan, and just traveling the world, during the 70s. And he was telling me about like all these stories about how he almost died, and how he was, like sick, and like, laying on the ground in India, and he was like laying next to some kid who had his legs cut off, and the kid was begging for money and was getting a lot more money than he was because he had his legs cut off, and how the kid was like giving him money, and like that was the only way he was able to get out of India, and he had like dysentery and all this shit. It's like, so there was that dude. There was another dude who was like super into religions of all different sorts, and was like, knew basically everything about like religion, and was able to cite things from the Quran and from the Bible, and just all these like weird obscure ancient texts, the Jewish book of mysticism, I think it's the Kabbalah, right? All these like these ancient texts, he was like citing like everything from them. He knew all that shit. Then there were like just some jocks there that were just like getting hammered, and just like one of them looked exactly like Silent Bob. Those of you who know Silent Bob, I mean, it was just such an eclectic group of people there. It was interesting. I was not expecting that. You had super rich people, super poor people. One guy looked like he just like walked out of the gutter and just like walked on up. I don't even know if people knew the guy. Like, he just kind of walked on in to the event. It was cool though. They actually asked me to do a meditation at one point, so I got up there and I ran a guided meditation for everyone right after the qigong guy did a guided qigong thing, and then the dude who was really into religion came up there and like gave like a presentation on like different religions and things, like these like workshops. It was really interesting actually. Then they had bands playing at night, and they had fire dancing and things like that. It was just quite the experience. All right, where are we at here now? I missed a bunch of shit in chat because I'm talking up a storm. Gracie said you should have a mind blown emote. Yeah, right. I mean, David Hume is the right kind of guy to blow someone's mind. I mean, no one in Western philosophy can understand why a single thing causes another nowadays, right? I mean, if he was able to do it, that would be cool. Grace Yogi said, sounds like Eyes Wide Open, but for clowns and trees. Yeah, that movie's awesome, by the way. That's so cool that you've seen that. I love that movie. If I recall, that was what Tom Cruise. Was that Kubrick that did that? I forget who. It was so good. It was masterfully done. Yeah, that was that one with like the weird like masks and everything people were wearing in there. That was neat. Yeah, Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise. Yep, that was that movie. Perfect. That's a good movie. I recommend that movie for everyone who hasn't seen it. It's just a nice good change of pace. JT Farms, you say, I love that you mingle with all walks of life. That's what makes you so damn beautiful, Agni James. Well, thank you, JT. Much appreciated. You warm my heart. Yeah, that's always been my thing. My whole thing, like when I was growing up, I wasn't content with staying in just like one group, you know. I mean, there was a period of time like when I was in junior high, I was like really preppy. I was going to be this like really preppy kid, you know, who got like $70 haircuts and you know spent like a shit ton of money on his Cavaricci clothes and all that crap, you know, and you know, and all that shit, right? And then I was like, you know, in the other groups, you know, I became a jock for a little while, right? I was like a hardcore jock, and then I was like, you know what, fuck this, and then I was like, and then I started not caring about what groups people were in, but whether or not the person was interesting. So I would go from group to group and just find the most interesting people, and the skaters, and the goths, and the metalheads, in the jocks, in the preps, you know, and all the different groups of people that existed at the time, right? And I would bring all the most interesting people, the people that actually had something original to say, something had an interesting point of view, and I would bring them all together. And I was able to merge all these amazing people together into one gigantic friend group. And it was like this, it was crazy, the synergistic effect that we had. Like people were just like doing art everywhere and coming up with the best music and creative shit. And like, you know, the athletic people were like teaching, you know, the chess players how to be healthy, and like the chess players were teaching, the goths like how to play fucking awesome chess. I mean, it was amazing, you know, and that's kind of what I do. I like individual people. I've never been a fan of groups of people. I think when people act in groups, they tend to get really stupid. They tend to lose sight of their own inner voice and start only listening to the group mentality, and that's when a lot of problems can arise. That's when people start acting like fools. It's when people start just basically becoming afraid to like stand up against the group. But when people are willing to express themselves for who they are, when they're willing to be true to themselves and express their authentic existence as opposed to trying to fit into group dynamics, that's when they become real people. That's when they become interesting, unique, creative, talented game changers. That's when they can change the world. And those are the kind of people I like to associate with, and that's why I'm friends with most of the people that come to this chat. You know, that's why I love the people in this chat. You know, they're some of the best people around. You know, they're interesting. They don't give a fuck about how the rest of the world like you know is going to judge them or evaluate them for the most part. They're more concerned about just doing what's true in their authentic being, and that's why I love all of you. Let's see what else. Uh, to Grace, you say that sounds really intriguing. Hope you had yeah, it was a lot of fun. The best thing though, I will say this: the best thing was when I did my guided meditation. It was kind of crazy because there was like a train, like pretty close. There were train tracks pretty close to where I was doing the guided meditation. It's like the train, you know, trains were coming by and it was loud, and I wasn't sure if people were actually getting a lot out of the meditations. But after the meditation, this girl came up to me and she was just like, "Hey Agni, you know, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for that meditation. She said that she's always been a little weary of meditation, and she's never really felt comfortable with it. But that for the first time, she had a really good positive experience with it, and she was thanking me and like was like super appreciative and just had nothing but nice things to say. And it was so good to know that I like made a difference even in her existence. Like even if no one else there got anything out of it, doesn't matter. The fact that just one person got something out of it made me feel warm and good in my heart, you know, to think that I've helped this person find a little more peace. And now she said she's going to be more open to meditation and is going to try to explore it more on her own. So that really that was it was heartwarming. It was touching, and it made me feel good about myself. Grace, you say, Agni James, wow, so amazing that you brought people from all different walks of life. Yeah, and that's always been my thing. That's always been my thing. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care about you know what you identify with. I mean, as long as you're interesting and kind and caring and have something good to say, I'm going to bring you in. You know, I mean, if you're toxic and just want to hurt everyone around you, I mean, I still love you unconditionally, but I mean, you're not going to be welcome in my home. That was something I had to do, you know, a long time ago. I had to learn to set boundaries because of a best friend of mine who was pretty damn toxic decided that it would be a good idea to break into my home and steal from me, right? So like I can't have that. I can't have that, right? So you know, sure, I still love her, right? I still love her, but like I'm not going to welcome her in my home. You know, that's just we have to set those boundaries if someone is toxic, if someone is sick, you know. And you know, she's been through a lot of shit, you know. My sister committed suicide when I was younger, and her sister also died when she was young. So it's like I get that she's like hurt and she's in pain, and and she's really unhealthy and doesn't take care of herself. And when people are unhealthy and sick all the time, They're going to be more prone to doing destructive behavior and to doing things that they typically wouldn't do. Like one of my best friends growing up, super amazing guy. I love this guy like a brother. He was so kind and wonderful and everything. He got addicted to heroin. And when people get addicted to heroin, they start doing horrific things. He actually literally stole his mother's wedding ring at one point and pawned it off for heroin, for dope. I mean, that's what heroin does to people. It basically turns them into something else. And it's like I still love the guy to this day, and luckily he's one of the few that's been able to get off heroin and like clean up his act, and he's like he's living a good life now, But at that time, I mean, I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't be like, here's my fucking wallet, I would never trust him like that. But I still love the guy, and that's the thing. You can like have reasonable defenses set up such that someone won't like break into your home and such that someone's not going to steal from you. But you can still love the person, right? Because you can realize, hey, this person is doing those things because they're sick, they're unhappy, they're miserable, their family died or whatever. There's always reasons. There's always reasons why a person's going to act in any given fashion. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you have to. So you don't have to welcome them into your home, but you can still love the person and feel compassion and kindness for that person. That's kind of what I strive for. And is it easy? Hell no, it's not easy at all, right? A lot of times, it's like if someone steals from you, you wanna retaliate. You want to get back. You want to take first. You want to get back what they took, and then you want to like retaliate. But at the same time, it's going to do no good because the person is sick to begin with, and it's like I mean, attack is never justified at the end of the day. Attack is never justified because this person is unhappy, and what is attacking them going to do? They're not going to be like, oh, I'm so glad you attacked me. Now I'm going to change. I'm going to get my shit together. No. You can make a much more powerful impact in their lives if you show them love. I mean, imagine that, right? Imagine like someone gets attacked, and then the victim of that just goes up and is like, hey, I have nothing but love and compassion for you. I'm not going to allow you in my home anymore, but I want you to know that I feel love and compassion, and I will treat you kindly to the best of my ability. I mean, that right there is way more powerful than jacking them in the face, right? And what's jacking them in the face going to do? Nothing, right? You'll get in trouble. You'll probably end up in jail, right? But if you can give love to someone who's attacked you, then you're like king of the hill. You're pretty much the best possible human being you can be. All right, where are we at here? JT From, you say making a difference in just one person's life is enough to fulfill our karma for one lifetime. That's your view anyway. Your energy is magnetic, and it's awesome that you can make an impact in one's time. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just if I can impact anyone, even just a little bit, just make a little bit of a positive difference in anyone's life, then I feel like I'm doing my duty as a human being. I'm being the best human I can be. That's all I want to do. I mean, I'm a human being at the end of the day. We're all fucking human beings. We all have these issues because we don't have the complete set of knowledge that's out there, right? We have this finite amount of data that we process through our five senses. We take in this tiny little bit of data, and then we use this little bit amount of processing power that we have in our brains, and then we extrapolate and we basically form our view of the universe, right? It's like, okay, well, according to this little bit amount of data and the little bit of amount of processing that we can do with that data, we can and our senses and all that, and all our sensory input, we can extrapolate and like say, all right, the world exists according to these following rules, right? So we have this little, we have barely any ability to understand shit, through that way of understanding, right? So I mean, we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna, even when we try our best, we're gonna do things that aren't, the best moves, right? And but we just do the best we can. So that's all we can do, right? Let's see. Grace, you say, so just a thought, if we make a difference in one person's life and we fulfilled our karma, do we still have a purpose? Ooh, interesting. Let me think about it. Let me actually drink some water and contemplate that for a second. If we make a difference in one person's life and we fulfilled our karma, do we still have a purpose? I would say yeah. I would say absolutely. We can always help, right? We can always do kind things for people, even if we've fulfilled our karma, right? Even if we've done that, there's still more kindness that we can do, and it can be something. It doesn't. I'm not saying like move to like Africa and like help starving children there. I'm not saying that that's what you need to do, but like the tiniest little things can like make a big difference. Like just a smile. If you're out in public, like I've had days where I'm out in public and I'm having a terrible day, and like I'm at the grocery store and someone just walks by and just smiles at me, and it's like, you know what? has made a huge difference for me. Just like a little smile. It's like, oh my God, that connection, that little bit of warmth that person gave me. They didn't need to smile. They didn't need to give me that warmth. But the fact that they did has like completely restored my view of humanity, at times. It's like if someone can just, give a little bit of effort and smile just to show you that they care, I mean, that alone is like super powerful, right? So I think we can always do something, right? I mean, if we feel up to it, right? There are times where we're going to be miserable and we're going to be sick, and whatever, and it's like we can barely get out of bed. And of course, in those days, you just got to take care of yourself. And if you don't take care of yourself, there's no way to take care of others, right? We've all learned that lesson before. So we take care of ourselves, and then if we have the energy, if we have the ability, we do little acts of kindness here and there, to try to help the people around us. And every once in a while, it's going to make a big difference, and then you're all of a sudden you're a difference maker. And I like to think that even if you don't feel like it makes a difference, even if like the person like scoffs at you and walks away, you're still making a difference on some level because you're offering love to that person, and whether or not they choose to accept it is their own choice. But the fact that you gave everything you had, the fact that you gave love is important in its own right. Okay, so that's my opinion on that. Chad guy, hey, good to see you. Good to see you, brother. I hope you're well today. You've been practicing a more minimalistic life. The simplicity is so peaceful. Dude, I am so on board with that. I love minimalism. I love living a minimalistic lifestyle. I have given away so much of my possessions, so many of my things that I just don't want in my life because they clutter up our existences. When we have tons of stuff all around, it's like it's crazy if you feel like trapped by your own possessions. The story I like to tell about this is about Thoreau. When Thoreau was living at Walden Pond, he moved out there to get away from all the craziness, right? And so he moves out there, he builds his cabin in Walden Pond, and he goes out one day and he sees these two beautiful rocks, right? And he's like, oh, these are beautiful, they're shiny, they're pretty, and he brings them into his cabin at Walden Pond and goes to sleep and wakes up in the morning and notices a layer of dust on top of those rocks. And it's like, fuck, I gotta dust these rocks, now. It's like, and then he immediately gets furious and takes the rocks and throws them out the door. And it's like, fuck this. This is the whole reason I came here, to not have these things I have to take care of. I want to be completely in line with nature. I don't want to have trinkets and things all around me that are like that I have to take care of and that are cluttering up my existence. So that's the story I always tell about minimalism. That one influenced me a lot, actually. I found that the more I get rid of stuff, the more I get rid of my possessions, the happier I am. It's like funny, we live in such a materialistic, well, I shouldn't say we, Western society, and especially American society, is so materialistic because of overbearing advertisers, that are force feeding us the notions that we need more. We need more. We need more stuff, more, more of everything in order to be happy, right? They've ingrained that into us since day one, since the first day we turned on the television, right? We need more, more of this, more of that, right? That's the only way we're gonna be happy. We need the most expensive car, a better house, a better, whatever, right? And because we buy into that notion, we're always bringing more and more into our life, but that's not even going to make us happy. In fact, it has an opposite effect. It's like you need a certain amount of things, obviously, to get by. You need plates to cook on. You need food. You need shelter. But after a certain point, it detracts from our happiness. After a certain point, we're no longer happy. We wish we didn't have all this shit because now it's like, oh, I need to hire a housekeeper to clean my house. I need to hire servants to make my food because I don't even have time to do this because I'm putting in 85 hours a week at this job that I hate so I can make like an additional $500,000 a year. And it's like, and I never get to see my kids and family at all because my life is so booked. And then, but don't worry. Once I get like 80 years old, I'll be able to retire, and then I'll be able to spend time with everyone I love. And then they get to like 70 and have a heart attack and die, and like that's it. That's the end of story. I mean, like what kind of life is that? But that's like the American dream now. Apparently, that's what we do in America. We accumulate more and more shit, and we become more and more wasteful, and then we like end up dying because we worked 85 hours a week for our entire lives, and we have nothing to show for it at the end of the day, right? Okay, so I know I'm talking a lot right now. Where are we at here? Imbalance. You say if you can touch one's heart, you can touch many people in this world, and being a role model towards them. Absolutely imbalanced. You have such wisdom in you, and you're so young, and you have such wisdom, man. I love that you've gotten on this path early in life, man. It's really inspiring to know that you're on this path and that you're working hard in it. It's great, man. It's fucking awesome. JT, you say the purpose for me is a found thing and is not part of the karma cycle. Just if you, yeah, right. We can always. So the French existentialists were always talking about manifesting our own purpose, right? In the '60s, that was like a big thing. We can. There might not be like a set purpose, like that you have to live by. And this is just one opinion, right? They would argue that, hey, you know what? We create our own purposes. We create our own meaning in our lives, and whatever we do, whatever we find meaningful, whatever we try to do in our lives to help people, is going to create our purpose, right? So I don't think you get to a certain point where it's like, hey, I fulfilled X, Y, and Z. My checklist is done, and now I'm done. I don't. There's nothing left for me to do. I think if we get to that point, we're not going to be very happy. Some people do it. Some people have like a bucket list of things they want to do, and they get through all those things, and then they're just like, okay, now I'm just gonna sit on the couch all day. But I think most people kind of want to be productive. They want to help. They want to be out there in the world doing good things. Unless they're sick, right? If you're sick, if you have tons of impurities in your system, and if you're really unhealthy, right, and you don't have much energy, and you're just you're constantly dealing with illness, right? I mean, you can't really do much, right? But if you're healthy, and if you feel that health and you feel that vitality, rushing through your veins, and you feel loving and caring, and you feel like you want, you'll feel like you want to help people. It's just like the natural state of human beings. At least that's my opinion. All right, where are we at here in chat? Uh, oh, relax. Hey, good to see you, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well with you, man. You're in Australia. They're opening things back up, right? From what I understand, they're opening Australia back up. I hope that's all going good. You're in bed now. Hi, everyone. Hope you're well. Well, yeah. I hope you're well. You're well too. Relax. It's always good to have you in chat. In balance, you say your legacy and purpose is to touch people's hearts. If you're able to do that, you did your job. In return, you get an income of gratitude. Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. You were so on track with that, and that's all it comes down to at the end of the day. If you can make a little bit of difference, if you can help someone, if you can touch someone's heart, if you can just show them a little bit of kindness and support when they're down. I mean, it's like the ultimate thing for a human being to aspire to do, right? There have been times where I've had friends that are super down, and if I can, and if I'm always there for them in their hour of need. That's like my thing, because there's plenty of people that are fair weather friends. Those of you who don't know what a fair weather friend is, basically it's someone who's there for the person as long as everything's going good, But then as soon as like things get rocky with that person, they're out the door. They don't want to be around that person anymore, right? And it's like fair weather friends are a dime a dozen, right? They'll be hanging out with you, as long as you have money, right? That's like a common example. Like it's like, oh, you're a millionaire. I love everything you have to say. Here, I'm there for you, man. What do you need? What do you need, right? But then the second you lose all your money, they're like, I don't want to be around you anymore. Fuck this guy, right? When they go off in search of someone else, right? My thing that I live my life by is always be somewhere. I'll always be there for someone in their darkest hour, right? So whenever someone's going through the tough times in their life, that's when I always step up for the person. Like I'm always the guy that will be there for someone when they need to move. That's like a big thing. Like if they don't have unless they already have a bunch of people helping them out, right? But if like everyone ditches out on them and they don't have anyone to help them move and they don't have much money, so they can't hire a moving crew, I'll definitely be there. I'll be I'll be the only person helping them move, and I'll work through it. Or like if someone's feeling like suicidal or down or whatever, I'm always going to be there for that person because I care about those people, and that's when those people need help the most, right? So, and that's when I feel like I can make the biggest difference. So that's kind of what I find how I can try to help. All right, where are we at here? In balance, you say to Grace. Yeah, she does impact a lot of people in her stream, which makes them continue to come back. Grace is amazing. Yeah, she's always giving so much warmth and kindness, and it's genuine. It's genuine. Some people get out there and they can fake it. They fake the warmth and kindness. Like I knew a guy who was a real spiritual guy. He's supposedly real spiritual, right? And would go out on stage and perform and do these amazing spiritual things and talk about kindness and gratitude. And then one day, he's like smiling and happy, and then I see him get off stage, and he's like walking behind stage and all smiles, and then he goes off into this area to meet his wife and kids, where they're hanging out behind, and his face just changes, and he's just like screaming at them, and he's just like this asshole-ish person, and it's like what's wrong with this guy, right? He's out there preaching love and kindness, then he comes back and is like, screaming at his 6-year-old kid. I mean, dude. What is that? That's not being a real person. So that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people that that practice what they preach. Someone who's like out there and is like, be love, be kindness, and then they go home to their family and they try to be loving and kind. And I'm not saying you have to always be loving and kind. I'm saying you just got to give it some effort. You got to try your best. You do what you can. And obviously, like I said earlier, if you're sick and you're unhealthy, of course it's going to be a lot more difficult to do so. But you just do what you can. Any little thing you can do is important. All right. Hey, Tape Snoo, good to see you. Good to see you here, friend. Thank you for stopping by. How are you doing today? And I know I'm probably butchering that name, Tape Snoo, or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that's exactly how you say it. But hello, it's good to see you here. Welcome in. Imbalance, thank you so much for the host, man. Much appreciated. Super kind of you, dude. I appreciate that. All right. Okay, I need to drink some water because I've been talking like crazy. Okay. One cool thing that I will say, I had the pleasure of bringing one of my real good friends to a Bikram yoga class last night. It was pretty awesome, and she rocked it. It was so much fun bringing someone else to go experience hot yoga. Those of you who don't know, Bikram yoga is yoga that's done in 105 degrees. It's 26 postures from the Hatha series that are done in the 105 degree heat. It's a 90-minute class. You do each posture twice, and it's intense. It's super intense, and you'll sweat more than you've ever sweat in your life. But you know what? You get out all the impurities, and you feel so good afterwards. And since your muscles are warm, you're not going to cramp up. You're not going to pull a muscle because they're already loose and ready to go, and you can stretch farther and do more than you typically could. So I always recommend Bikram yoga to those who have never tried it before. But yeah, she loved it. So yeah, check it out. Okay. I've been talking with a lot of intensity and energy. And now it's time that we calm things down. And we find our center through the art of meditation. So you'll want to get in a comfortable seated position. You can sit on the floor in lotus pose or cross-legged, or you can sit in a chair. The main thing is to find a seated position that is comfortable for you. And once you're sitting down and maintaining good posture, you'll want to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths on your own. And I have a Buddhist chant that I play that has a chime that dings every 2 seconds. And you can use that chime to help regulate your breath count. Take a few more slow, deep breaths on your own while maintaining good posture. Inhale through your nose, gently raising your belly. Exhale through your mouth, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in through your nose, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out through your mouth, gently lowering your abdomen. Stay focused on your breath. Inhale, gently raising your belly. Exhale, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out, gently lowering your abdomen. Keep your awareness on your breath count. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. The breath calms the body, and the body calms the mind. Be mindful of your breath. Visualize yourself sitting on a mountaintop, watching the clouds move beneath you. Two clouds merge into one, and one cloud separates into two. Those clouds are like your thoughts. When thoughts intrude on your mind, visualize them as clouds moving through the sky and disappearing over the horizon. In meditation, we clear our minds. We go beneath the level of conscious awareness, and we reside in the place of perfect stillness. Inhale, gently raising your belly. Exhale, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out, gently lowering your abdomen. Stay focused on your breath count. When thoughts arise in your mind, visualize them as clouds moving through the sky and disappearing over the horizon. Return your awareness to your breath count. Your essence is love. The manifestation of love is light. Your purpose is to shine your light on others. And awaken the inner light within them. And they will shine their light on all whom they encounter. Until all of humanity is lit once again. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that does not serve you well. Breathe in. breathe out, releasing all that is of no benefit. Stay focused on your breath count. When thoughts arise in your mind, visualize them as clouds moving through the sky and disappearing over the horizon. And return your awareness to your breath count. Your foundational identity is love. The manifestation of that love is light. Your purpose is to shine your light on others. And awaken the inner light that exists within them. And they will shine their light on all whom they encounter. Until all of humanity is glowing radiantly once again. And the need for this dualistic framework will be over. And we will go back into a state of pure monism. uniting with the source of all creation. For in the place of pure oneness, two-ness cannot exist. Inhale, gently raising your belly. Exhale, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out, gently lowering your abdomen. Stay focused on your breath count. On your next breath, travel down beneath the level of consciousness. Go to the region of your heart chakra. Feel the love that emanates from that location. Feel the warmth that surrounds that love. Visualize the light that flows from that love as it extends outward and fills all your body. Feel the oneness that exists in your heart chakra. Feel the perfect peace that resides there as well. When thoughts arise in your mind, release them and return to the oneness in your heart chakra. Witness the golden light that flows from your heart. It heals and nourishes every cell in your body. That golden light is your life force. And it guides and protects you. That golden light flows straight from the source of all creation through your heart chakra to the rest of your body. That golden light exists within all humanity. And when we recognize it in others, we become one with them as well. Inhale, gently raising your belly. Exhale, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out, gently lowering your abdomen. Stay focused on your breath counts. When thoughts arise in your mind, release them and travel back to the place of pure love within your heart chakra. Witness the golden light flowing eternally in that location. That golden light is the manifestation of your identity. Your identity, being pure love, is eternal. And your love reaches everyone in its manifestation as well. You can connect with others beyond the confines of the ego. by connecting with them in the place of perfect truth. Go back to the region of your heart chakra and stay there for a while, feeling the perfect love, peace, and joy in that region. Let it envelop you, holding you tightly in its warmth. For that place is your eternal home. Inhale, gently raising your belly. Exhale, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out, gently lowering your abdomen. The breath calms the body, and the body calms the mind. Be mindful of your breath counts. Take the deepest inhale of the day, filling your body with love and light, and the deepest exhale of the day, releasing all stress and tension, and the deepest breath of the day, filling your body with perfect peace, and the deepest exhale of the day, releasing all fear and worry. Gently open your eyes and return to the present moment, bringing with you the peace from this meditation throughout the remainder of your day. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in this meditation. I am truly honored and humbled to be here as your meditation guide. I hope you all got something out of this meditation. I hope you all feel a little more peaceful and joyful than you did before the meditation. The fact that you showed up here to meditate with me shows a lot about your character. Shows that you're willing to put in work and effort to improve the overall quality of your life. And that means a lot to me. So thank you so much. Terror time. You're here. Wonderful. The emote queen is here. Hello, Terror time. And she comes with a boom. You know, I don't expect Terror time to show up anywhere quiet. She comes with the boom emote. Yes, Terror time. So good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. Those of you who don't know Terror time, not only is she the emote queen, but she's also an incredible personal trainer and an incredible fitness and health streamer here on Twitch. Definitely check her out and drop her a follow. She makes working out fun, which is definitely a gift. So you'll wanna stop by her chat and see her. Thank you so much. Look at all that. Look at all those cool emotes floating around. Who else do we have here? Whoa. Okay. Let's see. Let me see what I'm missing in chat. I'm gonna get lower for a minute. I'm gonna get lower in this chair. We also have, let's see, oh, Chatgate, it's amazing how Stoicism uplifts your life. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. That's cool. That's cool that you know about Stoicism, that you're into it. Yeah, it definitely can make a big difference. There's a lot of wisdom in Stoicism. Stoicism. Those of you who haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. Now I feel like, oh, I feel really short sitting like this. It feels weird to like lower my seating position. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of liked how I was sitting before. Maybe I should sit like this. Is this better? I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, what else do we got going on here? Uh, where are we at here? Oh, Suey Blue's here. Hey, Suey Blue, how you doing? How you doing, friend? It's always good to see you around. You always show up at interesting times. You're such a positive person. Check out Suey Blue. He does streams too on Twitch. Him and Moonhana, they are a team. They're partners in crime, and they're both streamers here on Twitch. Definitely check them out. Subi, you do a lot of the gaming streams on I think it's Friday nights, right? But yeah, it's cool to see you around, friend. Thanks for being here. Living the dream. Yeah. Are you in Hawaii these days? Is that the deal? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where people are anymore. People are all over the world. Like, I mean, one day you could be in Hawaii, the next day you could be in South America, then in Africa. I don't know. I don't know what people are doing anymore. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. I'm just trying to spread love and light. It's like I don't really have a set plan. I'm just out there in the world trying to promote peace and kindness. Everyone wants to rip us apart. Everyone wants to divide us these days. That's the world, the state of the world, the state of dualism. Media sensationalism wants to rip us apart. And I'm just sitting here trying to tell everyone to come together. I don't care. Where you're from, what color your skin is, what religion you are, what your views are. I don't care. I just want you to be one with me. Just come on in. We can unite in that place of perfect love, and that's my stance. That's my hot take for the day. All right, let's see. So you are northwest now, and it is getting cooler. Loving it. Cool, northwest. All right, yeah. Well, it is getting cooler out now. It's in October. This is my birthday month. My birthday was October 2nd, and nice love it emote. Terror time, you got it. You're on it. The emote queen is ready. Yeah, I like the cooler weather too. I don't know, something about it just makes me feel good. Like I like 65-degree days. I just can go out and I don't feel like I'm sweating all over the place. I'm just out and comfortable and enjoying existence. Oh, well, thanks, Suey Blue. Much appreciated. Yeah. Yeah, definitely appreciate it. I was actually my birthday is one day after Yoga with Jen's birthday, so it was kind of neat. I was hanging out in her birthday stream on October 1st, and then mine was the second. But yeah, this is great. I think I caught up with chat. I think I pretty much got to everything that was going on. All right, cool. It's always a good day when I can catch up with chat. They always fly. The messages always fly by, and then I'm always piecing together the context to try to deduce what people are referring to. Part of the art of being a streamer, I guess. All right, let's see who we're gonna raid. Thank you all so much for being here with me. Let's see what we got going on here. What do we got going on here? All right, let me check this out. It's always a weird time here. Well, I mean, unless someone does anyone have any suggestions? If someone has some suggestions, we'll raid their suggestion. Otherwise, we're gonna raid Check Me Out. Check Me Out. Her, she does reruns. It's some of the top-notch streams out there. I mean, I can't. At the end of the day, I can't argue with it. She puts in a lot of time and effort into her sound healing and meditations. And you know what? I've been using them to get to bed a lot of nights. So it's definitely worth checking out. All right. Well, we're gonna rate her. So thank you all so much for being here with me tonight. I hope you all have wonderful rest of your days, and I will see you around. Love and light to everyone. Love and light to you. Namaste.